Okay, so we are working on enterprise structure configurations. We are creating every entity individually. Like we have created reference data set, and then we created a location, and we completed creating the enterprise also. We completed creating the enterprise also. Okay. So after that, we have to create a legal entity. Before creating a legal entity, we have to create a legal address. We have to create a legal address. Okay. What is the difference between normal location and legal location? So this is the location that is legally registered with the government. Okay. These are normal locations, operating locations, but this is a registered location. Okay. We'll create a legal address now. Setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance, and then selecting procurement. And click on the legal structure. So from this task list, we created reference data set, and we created a location, and also we created enterprise from this task list. And now we are moving to the legal structure. From here, we'll create a legal address first. And the first section is a search section, and the next section is a create section. Okay. I'm selecting the create button. And country, I'm selecting I'm creating this location for US. I'm selecting United States, and then address line 1. Then select country, state, and then zip code. So if I select zip code, then the country, state, it automatically defaults. And then time zone. This is time zone. Okay. So this is actually an important field. Not here. I'll explain you the time zone field later. I mean, in the next screen, I'll explain you. This is important. I'm creating a location. Okay. I'm just done with creating location. Now I'll create a legal entity. I'm creating a legal entity now. Okay. Click on manage legal entities. And from the drop down, I would like to create a new legal entity. Select create new. Select create new and click on apply go to task. Click on apply and go to task. And click on new. And then some legal entity number, and then legal address that we created. Legal address that we created. Okay, and then time zone. Where is that? Let me save this field. Okay, it is asking for company TIN number and then legal registration report number. I'm just entering the dummy details here, and these details should be provided by the client in real time. And I'm enabling these two check boxes and save. So the legal entity name should be as per the registration document, the legal entity name. And what is this checkbox? And what is this checkbox? Legal employer is nothing but, this is a company, right? This is our company. If you enable this checkbox, we can hire employees under this company. If you enable this checkbox, we can hire employees under this company. And if you enable this checkbox, we can run payroll for them from this company. Okay. So this checkbox is nothing but we can hire employees from this company. And if you're hiring employees in this company, you can also run the payroll for the employees. And if this company is not running the payroll, disable this checkbox and select which company is running the payroll. Select which company is running the payroll. Maybe some of our other companies may be running the payroll for these employees. Select that, okay? But I'm selecting the payroll checkbox also. And save and close. And then time zone, I should be able to see a field called time zone here. Let me save and reopen the screen. I'm opening again legal entity, because one important point I wanted to explain about legal entity time zone. Yeah, so I could see the time zone field now, right? So here time zone field. Okay, so this is nothing but whichever the records that we are creating in the application. Okay, so whichever records that we are creating in the application, they are storing in the database, right? They're storing in the database. They're storing in the database means they're storing in the tables. They are storing in the tables. Okay, and every record, against every record, suppose we created reference data set and we created a location. We created location. Suppose if I click on about this record, so see here system is capturing who is created by and when this record is created. When this record is created. So this date is belongs to which time zone? This date belongs to which time zone? Okay. 31st March, 1:46 a.m. Okay. When the data stored in the tables, okay, and in the tables generally we see created by column and we see date column, okay, and in the date column always data takes UTC time zone, always data captured in the UTC time zone, okay, but in the front end, for front end transactions, for front end transactions, for front end transactions, data displays, data displays in data displays in legal entity time zone. The data displays in legal entity time zone. Okay. Suppose if your time zone is selected to, suppose, so here you see time zone field, right? Suppose if the time zone is selected to, see here, Kolkata, then it is IST time zone. Okay. So simply in single word, your backend is UTC time zone. Your backend is UTC time zone, and your front end is legal entity time zone for the transactions. So that's why you might see different date in the table, different timestamp in the tables, and different timestamps in the front end. Okay, and also it also depends upon not only this time zone. Suppose I selected United States, right? So I'll select CST time. I'm selecting EST. Okay, so that means our transactions are going to display, our front end is going to display under this time zone. Okay, so don't be confused by looking at the different dates in the database and then in the front end. Don't be confused. This is how application works. That is an important real-time question. Okay, I created legal address and then later I created legal entity. Okay, I have only one company. That's why I created one legal address, one legal entity only. Okay, and then next is since we are creating our legal entity as a payroll unit, we have to complete one HR configuration. We have to complete one HR configuration that is called LDG, legislative data groups. Okay, that we'll do it now. So this setup has to be done from this task. What is the task name? Manage legislative data groups. This is the task name. I'm not sure about the navigation. I know navigations for the setup that I have done so far, but for this task, I don't know the navigation. If you don't know the navigation, if you know the task name, what you can do is click on this task list, and click on the search. Click on search and click on, enter manage legislative data groups. Manage legislative data groups. It's a HR setup we have to do because for our company we are enabling payroll, right? That's why I'm creating this setup. Manage legislative data group. Okay, so this is a kind of control L Control L in EBS. In EBS, after selecting the responsibility, we use Control L to search for the functions, right? In the similar way, if you don't know the navigation, if you at least know the half name of the configuration, you can search that configuration name with the percentages. Okay. And then click on legislative data groups and create TL LDZ. And then country, I'm selecting, this is a drop down. I'm selecting United States because our company we created for US only. So select United States, and then of course currency is defaulted to US dollar and submit. And after creating this LDZ, we need to assign the LDZ to the legal entity. We have to assign the legal entity to the LDZ. So that is the next task. Okay, so create a LDZ and then assign LDZ to the legal entity. This is the task name. Main is legal entity with some information. Main is legal entity SCM information. Open this task and open the legal entity that we created. Open the legal entity, and then under payroll statutory unit tab, first edit. First click on edit button and then update and select OK. Click on edit and click on update, and under payroll statutory unit, assign the LDZ that we created. Okay. So I just created LDZ, and this LDZ I'm assigning to our legal entity because our legal entity is enabled for the payroll. Submit. So that is about legal entity setup. Nothing but our company setup. If the client is having multiple companies, then you have to repeat this configuration multiple times. And
Krishna, just a doubt. What is about the fiscal year start date in the previous screen actually?
Fiscal year start date.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about the screen.
Yeah. Down.
The physical year start date, I mean, that's okay. It's related to payroll. This is related to payroll, okay? But coming to the start date of the financial year that we select in our calendar, financial calendar, not here. This is the control for the payroll module, not for our module, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, because I told you this is a payroll configuration, right? Any questions? Sardak, you're good?
So Krishna, when we say update and correct, is there any if we do instead of update create, do you think what option we choose, because those everything looks the same? I mean both the
Yeah.
options.
So It is how it sits in the table. Okay, if you say update, means you're adding some data. Okay, if you say correct, you're correcting the existing information. Okay, it is how the data sits in the table. Okay, so if you update, it will say update in the table, and if you say correct, it will say correct in the table. Only that is the difference.
Hey Krishna, Luciano.
Hmm.
About the payroll, if I have one external company that do have the external system to manage the payroll, I don't need.
I don't want to.
flag
I don't
this.
want to take questions about this configuration, Luciano, because it is out of our scope.
Okay.
So payroll is not our scope. I don't want to take question around that area.
Okay.
And even I don't know the real usage of this configuration in real time, okay? Because this is not my area. Since we are creating from the starting, we have to complete this configuration. That's why I did. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move on to the next configuration. So next is ledger. Next is ledger, but before we create a ledger, we need a currency, and then later on calendar is required, and then chart of account, and then SLA, and then SLA. Okay. So these are also called as, and this is also called as accounting method. This is also called as accounting method. And these are also called as 4Cs. These are also called as 4Cs. Okay, first we need to create these 4Cs before we create a ledger. Coming to currencies, already in the application, the currencies are there. Already in the application, currencies are there. It's a seeded data. Suppose we are creating financial related setups, right? So select financials, and under financial reporting structure, see, I'm navigating to this task list now, financial reporting structure. From here, currencies, go to currencies. So currencies like our Indian currency, okay, and then USD, GBP, all these currencies are created in the application already. Okay, it's a seeded information, seeded data. We need not to create any new currency here. Okay, we can use the existing currencies given by the Oracle. Okay, we can use USD currency now. And if you want to create, you can create from here. Okay, so for practice purpose, if you don't want to use the existing currency, if you want to create a new currency, you can create. Okay, just enter the code and then name and then description. Enter code, name, and description. And since we are around this currencies area, I want to explain about rate types also. What is this rate type? Let's say these rates are nothing but what is our main currency. Since we are creating a company, we are setting up a company for US, right? Our main currency is US dollar. Our main currency is US dollar. Okay. And we can also operate business in other currencies also, right? We can perform transactions in other currencies also. Maybe I have customers, say, let us take Luciano, he's from Brazil. He's from Brazil, and some of the students are from Dallas, United States. And some of you are from INR. Okay, so that means I'm operating for different countries. So there should be a conversion rate between those currencies, right? So we have to load those conversion rates in the application on monthly basis. Generally in real time, conversion rates are loaded in the application on monthly basis. Like what is the conversion between USD to INR, USD to Singapore dollar, or USD to GBP. Okay, the conversion rates has to be loaded in the application by a finance team. Okay, so generally in real time, these conversion rates are loaded on monthly basis. So click on conversion rate types. So when you're loading these conversion rates, we have to load under one particular rate type. So this is seeded actually. This one is seeded. I think, yeah, this one is seeded. Okay, see here. So when you're loading the conversion rates between one currency to another currency, we have to select this rate type, under which rate type you are loading the conversion rates. Okay, and when you are creating an invoice, if you select this rate type called corporate, according to the conversions defined under this rate type, the system is going to calculate the conversion rate. When you're creating an invoice, if you select this rate type, under this rate type, we have defined the conversion rate. According to that conversion, the conversion rates are calculated. Okay. So to load conversion rates, either you can use this tab, see here. You can load on daily basis, and you can load for a monthly basis also. I'll just show you the conversion between few currencies here. So from currency to two currency, I'm selecting INR. Already created, I'm searching already created data. I'm searching for already created data. So you see here, right? From USD to INR, this is a conversion rate, and this conversion rate is loaded under which rate type? This is loaded under corporate. So when you're creating an invoice, if you select corporate, so this is the conversion rate between USD to INR. Okay. So if you want to load these conversion rates, we have to do it from the ADFDI. We have to do it from the ADFDI option. So we cannot create this record manually here. We have to do it from the ADFDI. Okay, click on create in spreadsheet. Then the system will download one Excel document, enter the data in that Excel document, and upload it to the application. Okay, this process I'll explain you later. Okay, but there is no plus button to enter the conversion rates here. You have to do it from the ADFDI, which is equivalent to the web ADI in EBS. Okay. So when I'm talking about currencies, I'm talking about the conversion rates also. How to load conversion rates in real time? The conversion rates are loaded on monthly basis. Okay. So when you are loading the conversion rates, you have to load the conversion rates for the currencies that you are dealing with. So if you are dealing with only 10 currencies, then enter conversion rates between those 10 currencies only. That's it. Okay. And as I said, the conversion rates you cannot load here by just by clicking on the plus button in this front end screen. You have to do it from the ADFDI option. Okay. And then next is calendar. I'm selecting done. So this will be taken care by finance team, okay, not by us. Next is calendar, accounting calendar. I'm creating accounting calendar, nothing but financial calendar. Click on the plus button and TL accounting calendar and enter the start date. So Mansi, your question is here. Mansi. Okay. So what is this calendar? This is an accounting calendar. So here you can decide whether you want the calendar to be from January to December or from April to March. So this is the start date of the calendar. Okay. the fiscal year decided from here. And how you want the period name should be displayed. Okay, for beginners, the period is nothing but how many months in a year? 12 months in a year, right? In a year, right? So that means 12 periods in a year. Each month is called as a period in the application. Each month called as a period in the application. January period, February period, March period. Okay, so in our suppose if you are working, what we do, so we maintain Excel sheet, right? In that Excel sheet we are going to maintain what is the income of this month and what are the expenses of this month and what are the savings for this month. Okay, so you maintain that information, and once you are done with that month, you close that month and you carry forward the remaining balances to the next month, right? From February to March, March to April. So you're going to maintain that information on monthly basis. In the similar way, companies also. They maintain their financial information on monthly basis, and they close that current period, then they move to the next period. So currently we are ending in the March, right? So in real time, what finance team is going to do is at the end of the month, they close the March period and they open the April period. Okay. And here January Jan-21. So this is nothing but the hyphen is nothing but here what we selected. Suppose if you want this symbol, you can select. So how you want the period name should be displayed. I'm okay with this hyphen. Okay. And coming to the adjustment periods, how many adjustment periods we want. This adjustment period is nothing but how many months we have in a year. We have 12 months, right? January to December. So currently we are in March. So what we do is we close March and we open the April. Right? In the similar way, we do it for every month. January close and then February close, and then we open March and we open April. We're closing March. Okay. So if any transactions that need to be posted in the previous months, it's not possible because already they have closed in the application. It is not possible. Suppose if any leftover transaction in January, you wanted to do any adjustment, it is not possible. In February, if you want to do any adjustment, it's not possible because these periods are already closed. So in the situation, what we can do is at the end of the year, we can identify that and we can enter those adjustments in that adjustment period. Okay. And coming to this adjustment period, we can have one adjustment period at the end of the year. Otherwise, we can also have adjustment period on quarterly basis also. So see here, quarterly basis, and two adjustment periods at the year end, and one adjustment period at the year end, and at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. So here also two adjustment periods we can create. Generally 99.9% clients, they have only one adjustment period at the year end. 99.9% clients. Okay, that's why I'm selecting this option and then click on the next button. In case of EBS, you have to create every month manually, but in Fusion it automatically creates. So see here, we need not to enter the data for every month. In EBS we have to do, but in Fusion automatically the system is going to generate the data for every month. So January 21, and this is the start date and this is the end date, and then February, 1st February and then 20th February. So this is period name and this is year and this is period number, and then this is quarter. Okay, and then start date and end date. Suppose if I scroll down, the system also created one adjustment period. So this adjustment period is to post the adjustment transactions in this date. So this is the 13th period. See here, what is the number? 13th. But what is the date? What is the date here? 31st December, end of the year, last date. Okay, I would like to rename it to adjustment period 21. So which means I'm creating only one adjustment period. I'm creating only one adjustment period at the end of the year. And what is the date? That is 31st December. And if this checkbox is enabled, that means it's a adjustment period. It is a adjustment period. Okay, and save it. That's it. So this is about calendar setup. So we are done with the currency and we are done with the calendar, and next is chart of account. Next is chart of account. So before I define chart of account, I would like to show you how chart of account works in the application. I would like to show you how chart of account works in the application. I'll open some transaction screen. Suppose in this transaction screen, so there is a field called account. There is a field called account, right? So here if you see, so this transaction belongs to which company, and it belongs to which department, and it belongs to which account. It belongs to which account. Okay. So in the chart of account, in the chart of account setup, in the chart of account setup, in the chart of account setup, we need to identify how many segments are required for our business. How many segments? These are called as segments. How many segments are here? 3 segments: company, department, and account. So there is a possibility to create 20 segments. There is a possibility to create 20 segments here. But generally, in most of the clients, they create from 8 to, on an average, 6 to 8 and 10. 6, 8, and 10, that's it. So what is the significance of these segments? The segment significance is nothing but we can identify our financial information based on that company and based on the department and based on the account, right? Based on the account. Suppose if you want to identify the financial information based on the location, based on the category, and based on the line of business also, then you have to create additional additional segments here. You have to create additional segments here. Suppose let us take templates. Let us take templates. I would like to track my financial information based on the course. So what I do is I'm going to add one more segment here called course. I'm going to add one more segment called course here. Okay. So in the similar way, how the client wants to view the financial information, according to that, the segments has to be created. And there are some values in the segments you see here. There are some values. When you say department, so 101 represent procurement department, 103 represent finance department. So first of all, identify the segments and create value sets for those segments. Create value sets. Value set is nothing but we are going to load information in these value sets. Okay. And suppose if you say account, what account? Okay. So it's a liability account or asset account. What type of account is that? What type of account is that? Okay. So in the chart of account setup, first of all, we need to identify the segments required for the client for the financial reporting purpose. And then see, this is the discussion done by financial consultant, not by us. We don't involve here. The ledger setup is done by the financial consultant. We don't involve. So this discussion is going to done by financial consultant with the finance team. Okay. So who takes the decision on chart of account? So the chart of account decision is taken by our financial consultant, and from the company side, finance team, and then the company auditor. So it's a discussion between these three people, our finance consultant, and from the client side finance team, and then the company auditor, the client side company auditor. Okay, because ultimately all the financial reports has to be approved and reviewed by the auditor. So these three people are going to take the decision about the segments in the chart of accounts. Okay, and then later on create a value sets. As I told you an example, suppose if I wanted to view my financial information based on the course, then one more segment is required. And I wanted to view my financial information based on the location also. Because let us take, I have one location in high-tech city, I have another location in Gachibowli, and I would like to track my financial information based on the location also. Then one more segment is required. Okay, so as part of the chart of account setup, so create a value sets. The value set I told you, for each segment you have to create a value set. Under the value set, we have to enter these values. Okay, so when you are performing a transaction, we select this account, respective account, because this transaction belongs to which department, this transaction belongs to which account. We have to select the respective accounts here. Okay, and coming to this identification of segments. So the third point, it's how you wanted to view your financial reports. Your financial reports, and also from country to country also these segments might differ from country to country. Also these segments might differ. So for India ledger, we can have 4 segments. For US ledger, we can have 5 segments. And for China ledger, we can have 7 segments. From country to country also, the segments might be different. Because from country to country, the local auditing requirements are different. From country to country, the local auditing requirements are different. So that's why we may need another segment or maybe extra segment for that location, for that ledger. Okay. And coming to the setups in the chart of account, first to create a value set. I'm assuming that client is having 3 segments. So I'm going to create value sets for those 3 segments. And then later create a structure. The structure is nothing but create a structure for all these 3 segments, and then create a structure instance and then compile it. Create a structure instance and compile it. Okay. So I'll show you how to create a value sets now. Okay. We'll do this setup, how to create a value sets. The first setup in the chart of account we'll see. Under same financial reporting structure, click on value sets, chart of account value sets. Click on this and click on new. I would like to use my prefix. And then module, it's a financial setup. Under financial, it comes under general ledger module, directly showing in this list. I'll select from here. So these value sets we are creating under financial module called general ledger. And the validation type, we are entering the values manually here. That's why you have to select the validation type independent. Suppose if you are fetching the values from a table, then select table here. But we are entering here, so select independent. And then validation data type, select character, and then value subtype, select text. And how many number of characters we are going to maintain under this value? Say 2 characters, just 2. I'm okay with 2. And then save. Click on manage values and enter the values here. Enter the values here. So 01. Okay, so this is which company? And so how many companies we have, that many companies we can create here. And 02 staffing company, or okay, so companies we can define under the company value set. So this information has to be provided by the financial consultant. So the start date and end date, it is optional, not required to be entered. Let's see. So I created company value set, and in the similar way we'll create another 2 value sets also, that is department and account. So TL department, and then module is general ledger. And validation type independent. And what kind of data we are entering here? Characters we are entering here, and then text we are entering here. And for department, I would like to maintain 3 characters, so enter 3. Maximum I would like to maintain 3 characters. Save and click on manage values and enter few departments here. Enter few departments like 111 and HR department, okay, or 222 finance department, procurement department, marketing department, or sales department. Okay, so I'm entering 3 characters because I control this department to 3 characters only. That's why I'm entering 3 characters only. So I created second value set also, and we'll create a third value set. What is the third value set? Account. Module, general ledger I'm selecting, and validation type I'm selecting independent, and then data type character, and then text. And then I would like to control this field with 4 characters. So enter 4, and then go to manage values and enter the accounts here. Enter the accounts. There will be multiple accounts here actually, like salaries account. Multiple accounts are there in real time. Multiple accounts. So I'm just creating few examples for our practice purpose. And then we'll create one liability account we'll create, and also one retained earnings account also we'll create. Like this, there would be many accounts are there, like furniture account, asset account, many accounts are there. I'm just creating few examples. So how many value sets I created? I created 3 value sets because I'm assuming that client is having 3 segments. That's why I'm creating 3 value sets. Okay. So in real time also, you see same segments like company, department, and account also. And you may see a few additional segments also called line of business, or called as a location, maybe called as a product. So few additional segments, like if the client wants to track the financial information based on the location, they also add a new segment called location. If they want to track based on the product also, they add, and then category also based on the category. Like I have 2 categories in my institute. One is EBS and another one is Fusion. I have EBS courses and I have Fusion courses also. So I'm going to track my profits and expenses based on the category also. Okay, so these are the generic segments you find in any implementation. Okay, so what is the average number of segments the client will be using? So it's 6 or 8 or 10, it depends from client to client. So these would be the segment names. Okay, but for our practice purpose, what we are doing, we are just creating only 3 segments only. Okay, we just created value sets for those 3 segments. So tomorrow we'll finish the rest of the 3 configurations under the chart of account. Okay, and then later we'll finish SLA. So once we are done with this 4 C's, we'll create a ledger. Okay, so as I said in the enterprise structure, topic explanation, the first 2 entities are HR consultant responsibility, and then ledger and legal entity is a financial consultant responsibility. Okay, so we need not to have in-depth knowledge about these entities. It is optional knowledge. Okay, if you're having basic idea about these entities, that should be okay. So don't panic yourself by looking at all these financial topics. So in real time, we don't handle it. If you have knowledge, that would be fine. That's it. Okay, so I'm stopping the recording. I'll take your